Good morning, everybody. I'm going to be doing that man said I wasn't going to be doing last night when I went to bed. We were supposed to have snow squalls come through, not heavy, and cold temps, but I woke up unambitious and got ambitious as soon as I woke up the second time. It being 1 o'clock in the afternoon, sunny and 54. So the weatherman was wrong. Thank you, Lord. Turn this around. So my project of today is going to be the Jaguar. 2010 Jag Xf. Has a transmission mount. Fail. Kind of common. The miles that are on the car. Got it up on the ramps here. Got my jack out. Gonna grab my tools and everything that I need. So I got to figure out. I'm gonna cut off a couple zip strips that they put on at the shop. I must have misplaced some push pins. Get rid of this belly pan and expose my transmission mount, which is right there. Should be a pretty quick and easy job. I think there's like 4 bolts. Pull the bracket down, disconnect the mount from the bracket, put the new mount on the bracket, put the bracket back up in, zip, leave the belly pan. All right, back at it. I'm up underneath the car here in a second. Start taking this belly pan off. Got 1 zip strip and a few 10mm bolts. So, let's get at this zip strip real quick. Like that. 5 baby zip strip. They must have lost one of the 10 mils that was up holding that. Had to use a zip tie. Go for the center one first here. Turn the right direction here. Trying to make quick work of this so the video ain't super long. A little hard laying on your back working on the car. I thought I was done doing this when I bought this car. So went ahead and bought a warranty, bumper to bumper, powertrain, suspension, the whole 9 yards. Unfortunately, it's kind of a whole rigmarole to go through the warranty company. So I'm going to start doing a little bit of work myself, save time, save money. And get to know my car on a little more personal level. If that makes any sense. Because when a mechanic does it, you have to trust him that he's doing the job right. You do the job yourself. You know if you did it wrong. That's for sure. I'll have to see if I can find a replacement 10 mil for this other belly pan. I'd rather put a bolt in it than a zip tie. Looks like we put a real long bolt in this. That could be too. Maybe the snap off bracket bolt, something like that. Figure that out once I get this up. I'll get it all down. See if it'll take it half of them sometimes. I don't know what that is. This is one of those clip bolts on that side. Got one here, I'm going to do 2, 3, 4 bolts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total. And there might be one up front. Can't see the bolt. On your back, working on the car. Such is the case, you can't see what you're working on. So you gotta use your intuition and your touch to be able to feel what you're doing. Like anything, if you're working on a car, be sure to make sure you've got the emergency brake on. It's not going anywhere before you crawl under it. Not all the way. Right now would be a good time to have an electric project on the car lift. There we go. Keep lots of bolts in place here. One more leak. Out of here a little further. Grab a hat. We'll go with this one here. That seems to have a lot of play, which is free from any corrosion. This car was garage kept, and the only winter it's seen was the first year I had it, which would have been 2024, and this year, 2025 winter. Now we're here in 2026. A little past mid-February, the weather's breaking, so it's time to get these summer projects started and underway. And there we go, belly pan come down, nice. Maybe slip out of the clips up front, maybe, I'm not sure. I'll go up there and check, see if those are bolts from the front end. relatively nice. See that, all of that down back, exposing my transmission pan, which looks pretty good. A little salty from the winter weather, and my bolts and nuts that held it up. Let's wrap around here, see what we got going on up front here. It's like just another couple 10 millimeters. Right here one, right there one. Let me get that down. Go ahead and set this down here, see if you can watch me pull these last two 10s. Ooh, they're not 10s. Where are they? Why would they change up? Of course they're going to change up. Looks like they might be 8s. Quarter-inch drive ratchet, 8 millimeter. Yep, that's what it is. So we got two little 8 millimeters up front, and I think this pan will come down. It'd be nice to actually get to see the bottom of this engine for the first time. I may, in fact, actually have a broken motor mount as well, which I bought as a package deal with the transmission mount and 2 motor mounts. Not planning on. All right, there you have it. The belly pan's out. My camera's more in focus. Must be an auto zoom issue. What's going on with it? Still got blue skies, partly cloudy up ahead. I'll pray for the rain to stop. Dead in its tracks wherever it's at. For a little while here, at least. Okay. Looks like I got one there, one there, one there, and one there. That's 4 bolts to disconnect the bracket. And then I'm guessing way up inside here, it's going to be a little hard to get at. There is, can't see it. Right there's one. And it looks like I got a wire clip that I might have to run into an issue with. Right there. Not sure, but that looks like it might be mounted on my bracket. I might have to disconnect that. So. Okay, so it's looking like 4 bolts on the bottom, and then that single bolt right there is 1, and then maybe, yep, another bolt right there. So we got 2 bolts holding the bracket on, and oh, there's the 3rd bolt. It is way up there, and it holds the top of it, I think. Let's see. I'm not sure here. We'll find out, right? We'll definitely find out. Alright guys, pausing the video here. Let me take myself out from underneath this car. Supposedly I'm going to need a jack too. We'll hold up the transmission. While I do this, and being a plastic pan, I'm gonna need a piece of wood, and I do believe the best place to jack on it would be right there where the bell housing meets the transmission.
And if I'm correct, I believe it's going to be a 3/8 inch ratchet, a short extension. We'll pop off the 10 millimeter because by the looks of it, we're going from 10 to 13. So we'll get the 13 mil on here. Throw that under the car. Let's see if I can get this positioned up in here. You can see what I'm doing. Without getting in the way of doing it. Alright. Alright guys, I hope you can actually see what I'm going to be doing here. First off, let's make sure it's a 13, right? It is a 13. So I'm going to crack 4 of these loose. I'm not going to take them off completely. Just going to make sure they're all broken loose. Without breaking them. Obviously they're pretty strong to hold a transmission. And I can see that the bracket is actually separating from the underbody a little bit as I loosen them. So I'm not going to go very far with it because I don't want my transmission shifting down. Okay, all 4 are loose. Now I'm going to get my jack underneath the front of that bell housing here. And yeah, it looks like I got some oil on the ground wire there that bolts to the back of the bell housing. Let's see what kind of fluid that is. It looks like oil. So I might have an oil pump line leak. That's what it is, oil. So yeah, I just have a seeping oil line going to my oil pump, I think. External lines, internal oil pump. Oil pump is actually connected to the front of the block. Going up with it, we're just securing it, all right? Just like that. That's it. An electric ratchet would come in handy right now. One finger deal, stick it on, pull the trigger, right? Yeah, we're old school here. So I watched a guy do this on the great channel of YouTube, and seemed pretty simple. So I wanted to actually create another video similar to what he did. Maybe just go a little more in depth Although he was pretty informative in his video. I think he lacked a little bit of the camera action, maybe, which is understandable because he, as well as me, are doing it on our backs in the driveway. Okay, that one's feeling a little snug, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over here, grab one of these, take one out at a time on either side. And it might be because the back of the transmission, this backside, has got some tension on it from me being jacked underneath the bell housing on the front side of the transmission. It really ain't it's not really supporting the back end of it. Hopefully I don't run into any issues with the support of the transmission and be able to get it back together. Because if it comes apart easy, it should go back together easy. If it comes apart a little difficult, it will probably rather be difficult getting it back in. So hopefully, two. Work on number 3 here. So if you guys got a Jaguar XF out there, still on the road, love it as much as I do. Mine, they got some issues, for sure. But nevertheless, any car on the road nowadays has issues. My girlfriend's got a brand new 2025, and she had the car a month and it was in the shop for 3 months. Something simple too. Shout out to the traveling mechanic that was called in. They found out what the issue was right away. Day one, he was there. A couple hours, they called her. Fixed the problem. It was a pin on one of the electrical connectors attached to her seat. Like I said, it don't matter what kind of car you have, make, model. Simple issues arise. That could be rather tricky to find out. Okay, transmission mount is completely disconnected from the chassis. Now I gotta figure out what's holding it to the transmission and where it's at. Which I'm gonna have to go without gloves here. Use my feeler gauge because can't always see what you're working on, what you're working with. I believe it's bolt there. The bolt there is what we looked at. And that goes right into the back of the transmission, I believe. And it doesn't look like it's 13 millimeter. I think it may have jumped again. They can never seem to keep things consistent. Go from one size to the next. Oh, nope, I was wrong. They are 13 mils. Okay, and it looks like my short extension should be the right length to get at it. Oop, I dropped you all on your side. Let's see if I can get this without turning the video off. Okay, so now I'm going up after these bolts in. Alright, so yeah, I got the transmission mount out. Turn this around. There's the mount, bracket, and I got the new one here. I'll go ahead and set this up. Open. Definitely a lot better shape than the old one. No cracks inside there. Nice solid. Okay, and this should only go on one direction, and I believe it would be that direction right there. This way doesn't line up right. You see how it lays in there like that? Not right. Lays in there nice and flat. That's the right way. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put our, it's on the top right now, but we'll go ahead and put that one on. While we're here on the ground, outside from being under the vehicle. Because once it's placed up inside, that is actually in a location you cannot get at. If that makes any sense. Alright, alright. Give that a pretty good torque. Looks like this front one, that longer one, that's the one that actually mounts it to the transmission. Along with these two up here. I could be wrong. Let me get that long one because I don't think I actually had to take that one off. I'm gonna put them both in out here. Yeah. This one didn't have any play with holding it in the car. This is just the mount to the bracket bolt that I took out. It doesn't seem to be lining up quite right. So it's a good thing we're doing it out here, because under there it'd be even more difficult. There we go. Bag in my pocket. see if I got and I do. 10mm, 1/2 inch. Okay. 10mm we're talking about here. I do have it, but that's not what I need. Looking at 13. Okay, y'all. Back to the Jaguar. The transmission mount is up and in. Unfortunately, during the video process, my battery went dead, so I had to charge my phone. I didn't get the installation of the new mount per se fully. The bracket proved to be rather difficult to get back up in, positioning the two bolts, that one and the other one on the other side, correctly on the transmission. Reason being is because those two bolts should actually be mounted simultaneously, so that they're positioned on the transmission itself correctly, and then these you can see are slotted. So it was rather difficult. I had to put these four, 1, 2, and then 2 on the other side, in just barely threaded, and have the bracket hanging loosely. Then I had to try and get that one and the other one threaded in by hand, which was rather difficult, but I ended up getting it by taking one of the 4 out completely, being able to maneuver the mounting bracket enough to get 1 or 2 threads on each one of those started. Once I got 1 or 2 threads going in, I was able to get my ratchet up there, get them in about halfway, leaving them semi-loose, not torqued down, but snug. Then I ran my I actually couldn't snug those because I couldn't get my 4th bolt back in. If that makes sense, the transmission was not up high enough for me to even start that one on its threads. So what I ended up doing was leaving those ones threaded but not snug. I ran my other 2 bracket bolts over there up a good bit, my 3rd bracket bolt up a good bit, to get my 4th bolt started into the threads. Because by raising those into position, it raised my whole bracket up just enough to get my threads started on this side. Then I went, loosened all, once I got those started, I loosened all the other 3, positioned my bracket loosely so that these ones were actually positioned on the transmission so that I could actually back them out with my fingers, so that it was actually positioned correctly. There was no alignment issues to torque those ones down. So then I torqued these down while the bracket was actually free hanging on those 2 bolts. Then I ran my impact up on the other 4 bracket bolts. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Ultimately ending in, hopefully, a solved transmission mount issue. So there you have it. Get back up off the ground here. I'm kind of excited that it's up and in. And now, you know, the issues that I was having was under throttle on the freeway and stuff. I would actually gas it just a little bit to go over to a different lane, pass up a car, whatnot, pass up a truck, and I would feel it pulling to take me into a different lane, just under throttle. When I let off the throttle, I could let go of the steering wheel and it would actually follow a straight line. So just under throttle, it was actually pulling. So I knew it wasn't an alignment issue, because letting go of the steering wheel off throttle, going down the freeway at 55, 60 miles an hour, it would follow the lane nice and straight. So it wasn't an alignment issue. It was just under throttle. When I gave it gas, it would want to pull. So I researched it, found out, you know, it's more than likely my transmission mount. I also looked up under there while I was there, and I recently had this engine last year. It was replaced, and while he replaced it, he also replaced a motor mount. He said a motor mount, not both mounts, because he found one that was bad. Well, when I found the transmission mount and motor mounts online, was a combination deal. So I went ahead and got it, because should it be more than just the transmission mount and I actually have the second motor mount going bad, I'll have to deal with that. I did look at those mounts. The passenger side was the one that was replaced. The driver side one, the harder one to get to, I'm going to have to drop the rack to get at. That's the one that's probably in question, if it is indeed bad. I will find out on my test drive. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Peace out to Jaguar owners. Hope you're having fun. Enjoy the weather. Looks like I'm going to be getting the rain that the weatherman said was going to be snow this morning. It's going to move in as rain this evening. I'm going to get this Jaguar off the ramps and take her for a test drive. Hello. All right, we're going to do this road test, right? Hang you up on my clip here. Spin you around. All right, so yeah, I did the transmission mount, and now we're going to take it for a road test. We're off the ramps and see if that solved my wanting to go in another lane under throttle. Sounds smooth on going from park to drive, back to reverse and stuff like that. No clicking. And it did solve my issue. That was under throttle, no hand on the steering wheel. It did not pull either left or right. It felt really good, nice and solid. So we got our problem solved. Go Jaguar. Beautiful, beautiful. Sounds good.